and we can move on to the Focus on Technology session, which features three gentlemen, Jamie Harris, Ben Angel James and Jeff Ruddle. Jamie's the company director at HySurv, which is a company which supplies inspection and surveying services. Ben Angel James is the technical and quality director for ACE Consultants and also has a killer sense of humour, so you'll enjoy his presentation. And Jeff Ruddle is the UCAS Strategic Development Director. Jamie, you're up first. He's pre-recorded his video and he'll join us afterwards for the Q&A. But for now, here's Jamie's video.
The world is rapidly growing. But now, more than ever, we need a link between the physical world and the digital world that allows us to see and measure what's happening on the ground. With HySurv, you can view high-density 3D data anywhere and use it to track, manage and inspect your assets. Getting started is easy. All you need is one of HySurv's nationwide pilots, or arrange your own to capture the data and upload it straight to HySurv. The world's asset management and construction industries are becoming the fastest growing adopter of technology. HySurv are one of the first British companies that can provide you with a new online inspection tool that's proven to maximize your asset management experience. HySurv's platform allows you to view where your assets are located, measure distance, angles and area, track changes over time, view elevation data and carry out inspection workflows. Our 3D modeling engine is one of the most advanced on the market and has up to 20 times more density than our competitors. Join a vibrant community of users and discover how HySurv can offer new perspectives for your organization. We are innovation. We are HySurv.
Hello and welcome to HySurv's webinar on utilising drone technology. Firstly, drone technology and the ability to capture data has been available to us for over a decade. Yet it is only just becoming the norm to even think about what it can offer. Before I go into the webinar, I'd like you all to take a moment and think about where you would be at this time last year. You would probably be at a convention, networking, and maybe sat listening to someone like me stood in front of you. Due to the changes faced this year, everyone is now sat in the comfort of their home or office using technology that has been available to us for many years. Much like our historic resistance to online conferences, our biggest challenge within the industry is to find a way to introduce drone technology and change people's working habits, which in return can improve the productivity, service and quality of reporting. So today I'll be showing you how the surveying industry can utilise drone technology to improve the safety and quality of surveying, inspecting and reporting. It's great to be a part of the Asbestos 2020 conference and to have the opportunity to introduce drone technology to you all. My name is Jamie Harris. I am the founder of HySurv. To give you a bit of background about myself, I studied design and innovation at university, and I worked for a construction company, predominantly in the commercial and industrial sector, and was a quality assurance manager and was responsible for implementing the latest technology that could improve project management and building surveillance. So you see those kind of tablets on site that everyone fills in and use. That was something that I helped implement in the construction company I worked for. So the agenda today is to have a quick look at the overview of HySurv. And then we're going to look at which industries have adopted drone technology already. And then they're going to have a look at the 3 steps on utilizing drone technology, which is capture, and that's how you actually capture the data from the drone. Process, so once we've captured it, what's the most efficient way to inspect that data? And then report, so once we've processed it and we've inspected it, how do we actually get that data and generate a report from it? So that's what we're going to be looking at today. So who is HySurv? Well, HySurv was founded by myself and a roofing contractor firm called Prem Group. HySurv was built based around using drone technology to improve the quality of visual surveys and also track progress of large-scale construction sites. Drone technology has been around for a long time, and there's a lot of companies out there that offer solutions on how to capture drone technology and drone data, so your photos and your images, your photos and your videos, and everything like that. However, we saw a problem where once you've captured all those photos and images, there was never an efficient way of actually inspecting that data. And we've come up with a solution. And while we came up with that solution, we've also implemented inspection workflows, machine learning, artificial intelligence, so AI, and automatic reporting. Within the building industry, when surveying a building, we are limited to what we can physically offer. Some successful adopters include facility and asset management, construction and building, utilities and infrastructure, and precision and agriculture. Facility and asset management companies are currently using drone technologies to survey a building where they cannot access it physically. They can actually survey a building. So they scan the building with the drone, capture all the data, and let's say they lease the building for 10 years. Then they can scan that building again after 10 years. And with those 2 sets of data from the first year that they leased that building to the year they've handed it over, they can use artificial intelligence to work out the changes over time, which that means then they can produce detailed lapidation reports. The construction and building industry use it for building measurements, so they can scan buildings with 3D with drones, and then carry out measurements on that building, and then they can correlate that to their drawings and make sure that the building that they're physically constructing kind of represents the drawings that they've created as well. The utilities and infrastructure sector use drone technology by basically scanning solar panel farms. They use thermal imaging on their drones, so they can actually find hidden issues with solar panels, and they can detect the hotspots within PV panels, which means that they can find the hidden issues with drone technology. Even agriculture can use drones, and they do at the moment. There's something called a multispectral sensor, which means they can scan a farm and they can actually read the health of plants by where healthy plants absorb light and unhealthy plants reflect light. And our drones can see that. They can see if plants are reflecting or absorbing light, and then we can determine when the best time to harvest crop is. So now we're going to dive straight into the capture, process and report. So capture, where can you fly a drone? Well, you can fly a drone anywhere, as long as you have 2 things. Permission from CAA, so the Civil Aviation Authority, and then a safe flight plan. A safe flight plan is similar to what you probably know as RAM, so your risk assessment and method statement. It's more kind of correlated to drone surveys. And then you can fly in airports, the centre of London, and even in ceilings. So your suspended ceilings internally. Drones are not restricted for external use. Here's a short video showing us filming a cladding panel getting installed at a 24-storey building in the centre of London with the largest freestanding crane in the UK as well. As you can see, there's a lot of moving parts here, but we can still fly the drone. So there's no restrictions there at all. And this one, which is quite impressive as well, which is in suspended ceilings. So you can kind of see the diversity of where drones can fly. You can see they're not just restricted for the outside, they can also be flown inside as well. What drones to use and the capabilities of drones as well. So there are many drones like this one. This is a different type of drone which can be purely flown in tight areas and inside. There's other drones that have 6 propellers that can go really high with thermal imaging cameras and can capture the thermal kind of information about a building or about a material, as well as you saw previously, the multispectral kind of drones which can read the health of plants as well. How to fly a drone and capture detailed data. Well, there's 2 main ways of flying a drone. You've got your automated flight paths, which is where you actually draw a flight path around a building, and then the drone, by just pressing start, automatically flies around that flight path and makes sure that you capture all the correct data. And then you've got your freestanding flights, freestyle flights, which means that you fly the drone manually and capture the data needed. The reason why we actually recommend automated flights is because then there's no human error introduced when carrying out a survey, because you're going to make sure that that whole entire building's photos have been taken with an automated flight. Where when you do freestyle, then that means that you're introducing human error to surveying, which can mean that you're not capturing all that detailed data that you need. Process and report. So I'm not going to be showing you kind of any PowerPoint presentation, slides. But what I'm going to actually do is show you firsthand how drone data can be used for surveying. What we're going to do is enter our platform, which I'm just going to load up for you now. Drag across, hopefully you can see that. And this is the platform that we have. What you can see here, if I turn this to 4K, is you can see there's a 3D model. And what we've done here is we've captured thousands of photos of a building, uploaded it to our platform, and it's generated a 3D model of the asset. And what this allows us to do is to virtually inspect this model. We can have a look around the building, have full access to the site, where traditionally you might not have. Traditionally, you might not have been able to access the site. You know, there's a fragile roof structure there. There's loads of houses and buildings around, so there's no access around the site, and there's hardly access where the site is itself, so the kind of compound area. So this is where drone surveying is perfect, because all we've done is we've scanned this building and it's created a 3D model for us. On top of this, we can carry out measurements as well from this 3D model. But the main thing that we're interested in is inspecting this asset. And the way we can do that is by zooming into the 3D model. And we don't use the 3D model for detail, but what we use the 3D model for is for a representation of the building. And for the detail, we can actually click the locations of where we want to inspect. And it will show us the image related to that area. And what we can do is we can zoom all the way into this 4K image and look at this vent pipe. Traditionally, on these kind of buildings, these vent pipes may likely have an asbestos kind of cover, but as you can see on this one, it doesn't. But let's say it did, you would be able to pick up all that detail about that asbestos cover from this image. As well as that, now we've found a efficient way of actually inspecting the data captured from a drone. On the platform, we can also highlight the area where there's potential asbestos. And what our platform does, and also is a solution to traditional surveys, is it pinpoints on the 3D model the location of asbestos. And as we all know, the main issue when you take loads of photos traditionally on a survey is where did you take that photo? And that's the annoying bit. So this is brilliant because you can actually see the location of where that photo has been taken. On top of this, we can type in the name of it. So asbestos vent cover. There you are. You can put the severity. So depending how severe it is, the color of the icon changes to red. So we're going to put severity 9. You can put the description of the asbestos as well. You can type in the recommendations on what we should do about this asbestos. And then we can actually kind of set the camera angle to be looking at the 3D model as well. And then we click finish. And then you can see the defect on the model. And then if I select that defect, it shows it there for us. And then all the data related to it and tags the image. So as you can see here, if we did that for that whole building using this platform, we can then automatically generate an inspection report with all those defects, as well as in the report, it will create a defect schedule, as well as a recommendation schedule as well. So that at the moment is the best and efficient way to inspect the data captured from your drone. So we just want to go through the benefits of that kind of survey. So traditionally on that type of building, you would have had 10% access because there's limited access due to no ladders, no fall protection, there's a fragile roof structure there, where when using a drone, you had 100% access. You could survey 100% of the building. You didn't need to do any presumptuous surveys. You could fly it anywhere. So that was in a busy centre of London, which we could fly. There was no restrictions there. Using the platform as well means there's only a single source of truth. You're improving the efficiency of your survey because you can use machine learning to select the photos for you. You've got the data management side as well. So those large sums amount of data is all on the cloud and can be easily shared to your clients. And you've got the added benefits of tracking changes over time, which is the use of artificial intelligence as well. And this brings us perfectly onto the cost element of the drone technology. So we need this to be more cost effective than physical surveys, of course, which I believe it is. So utilising HySurv's nationwide drone team, this is just kind of a rough cost, it's £750 per survey to survey a building. And that means you'll have use of all our drone pilots across the UK and equipment and access to our platform to inspect the data. As well as that, a more long-term cost-effective solution would be creating your own drone team, which you can do, which is setup cost is around £3,500. And then to access the platform to inspect the data, it's £350 per site. So that is the end of the actual presentation itself. And then we're going to move on to the kind of question and answers for you.
Thank you, Jamie. If I could ask you to now turn on your camera and your microphone and join us live.
Hello, how you doing?
And for the eagle-eyed in the chat box, there were two Jamies in the chat box. I'm assuming you were being trolled by your own company director in there.
I am. He kind of was laughing through the window there.
There he is, making a little appearance behind you.
So, yeah.
And you've certainly got some drone fans as well. I think Marcus and you need to have a wee chat off air as well and discuss, because he was just saying, I wish I had a drone that flew inside ceilings, and as if by magic you moved on to the slide with a drone in the ceiling. What are the limitations of drones in ceilings for those of us who are not technically minded?
So obviously the kind of height of ceilings does matter, but as you can see there, there wasn't really any limitation. The drone that we were actually using kind of has a cage around it. So if there are kind of objects within the suspended ceiling, then it would just simply like kind of bump off, and you wouldn't really need to rescue it, as it would still kind of carry on flying.
And if you did need to rescue it, you just make a hole in the wall, as I guess you asbestos types like to do anyway. So
right, yeah. So that was, so the suspended ceiling, you could just simply move that tile, couldn't you, as well? So.
Yeah, try not to crash into too many things. So it's obviously quite cutting edge technology. Are you finding the uptake's quite popular, or is there still a lot of education to be done?
I think there's still quite a lot of education to be done, but it really does kind of differ between industries. For example, the roofing industry at the moment, they're kind of really trying to adopt it, and now kind of producing really detailed visual survey reports from it, as well as construction. They use it quite heavily now, and has been adopted everywhere, apart from the UK, believe it or not. So even in Japan, they purely use drones to actually maintain their sites, which is quite interesting.
So hopefully a growth area for you then. Aaron Cobley is asking, do you directly employ the pilot resource?
Yes, so we directly employ the pilots there across the UK, and there is some element of training. You don't just kind of buy a drone, fly it up there, and expect that you're going to capture that accurate data. You do need training as well on how to efficiently capture that data and make sure you're capturing all the photos that you need, because the worst thing to do, and you can do it with traditional surveys as well, which I've done before, is you go to site, you survey a site, you take all these photos, and then there's one photo that you're missing, or one location that you haven't gone to, and that's, so there's a bit of training there to kind of overcome that.
And Richard Barker's asking, can they go in ducts below ground level?
Yes, again, so they can. It's purely just dependent on the size of the ducts. The drone's about 300 mil wide, so it's just depending on the size of the ducts. Signal, I noticed it was Marcus that kind of asked about the signal as well. Because it's inside, we use digital kind of signal as well, so there's no issues. It's just you can even fly the drone about 500 feet away without having any signal issues.
Great. And a question from Maria in Spain. Have you developed an algorithm which is able to recognise asbestos cement in building roofs?
No. So that, again, is what we're working with. At the moment, we've worked with oil and rig industry that can actually automatically detect components when scanning with a drone. But if anyone's out there that is actually interested and want to kind of work with us to maybe create that kind of technology, then we'll certainly be interested to do that. As obviously our platform is artificial, has artificial intelligence and machine learning.
That's exciting. Could really revolutionise the whole inspection process. Just one final question. Does it map out the detail internally? Helen Holmes is asking.
Yes, so in regards to mapping out on 3D models internally, it can be done. Again, it just comes down to the training aspect and how much detail you want to capture, because not only can we use drones to create a 3D model internally and map it out, but you can actually, alongside that, use LiDAR data sets as well, which means that there's about a 0.5 mil accuracy to the data captured as well.
Wow, incredible. Well, thank you very much for sharing that technology with us. Please stick around in the chat box. I'm sure there'll be lots of other questions. And you can always get in touch with Jamie at HySurv as well. So thank you for just now. Jamie, you can turn off your camera.
Perfect. Thank you.